Hello and welcome back. On our previous video, we kind of alluded on introducing CBR 125 as a really good entry level mini road racing machine. And with that, I'm gonna highlight just 7 features of this bike. What makes it a good entry level mini road racing machine. And number one, this bike is extremely affordable. You can find them anywhere from, $700 or even as low as $500 up to $1,500 for a really mint condition with no blemishes at all. And the best time to purchase these bikes are normally end of riding season towards maybe fall or even midwinter. And ideally, you want to try to find them after the new year, like when people had overspent over Christmas and people are just looking to unload some of these bikes, some of them that have been like sitting collecting dust, and people just sometimes try to get rid of them for really they're cheap. And then the second reason why is this particular bike is actually bulletproof. It's there's not a lot of things that could go wrong with it. Like even when you pick one up with like broken plastics, broken mirror, broken headlights, that's really not a big deal because these bikes are pretty awesome. But the one thing you should keep an eye out for when you're looking for one is the tank. You make sure you pop open the gas cap and make sure to look inside because oftentimes they get corroded over time because people store it and the gas tank is empty, and over time it just corrodes and it ends up normally plugging the fuel filter when you try to start it. But again, that's not a big deal because there's a lot of informational video on YouTube on how to clean them and how to bring them back to life. So again, that's not a deal breaker either. And then the number three reason is the riding ergonomics of this bike. It's pretty awesome because this bike you can ride it exactly like you would on a big bike. You turn in the turn in the weight of the bike, the way it handles, the braking, how strong the brakes are. It really mimics a big bike. So it's a good bike to really learn how to ride, and then you can easily transfer those skills to a bigger bikes later on. And then number four is this bike crashes really really well. Like most of the time when you have a frame slider or fork sliders, um, a lot of times when you go sliding across the pavement onto the grass, most of the time you can just go run up to your bike, pick it up, check to make sure you're good, and almost 95% of the time you can pick up the bike and keep going because they're just so awesome. You can I've seen people like crash them all day long and yet they can keep on riding because it's just so awesome. Number five is this bike is really good on tires. Like for the most part, you can ride, you can use that same tires for a season or maybe even 2 seasons, depending on how much time you spend on the track or how heavy you are as a rider. And then number six reason is, and probably to me the most exciting part about getting into this bike is the grid is normally really big on this bike because they're so cheap and people tend to buy them, and then there's not a whole lot of prepping you need to do to get this bike ready. Therefore the the grid it's normally the biggest, and it's so exciting because you see a broad array of different riders with different skill sets, so you get to really test your abilities, how you stack up against the others. And it's fun going out on the track and seeing 20 to 30 other CBR 125 out there, and just be having fun all day. And then lastly, the, the the last reason why I think CBR 125 is awesome is because the fact that it's underpowered. What I mean by that is you're not going to be relying on horsepower to learn how to ride fast. You're going to be purely relying on your ability to learn how to get good on the gas, how to be efficient as picking the right race line, how to brake late, how to get on the gas early, how to utilize the best body positioning for this bike, so you can get the very little power of this bike onto the ground, and just win or get good just purely on your ability to learn, and not so much relying on the bike or the electronics of the bike or the horsepower of the bike. So it just gonna be you and your bike, and nothing else, and just your sheer commitment to want to learn. So anyways, those are just the 7 key points that I really love about the CBR 125. So with that, then our next mission will be to go and look for maybe a crash CBR 125, so we can build it from ground up, and maybe show some informational videos that will hopefully help the other people that are looking to get into mini road racing using a CBR 125. Also, once we turn a bike, CBR 125, into a track bike, we're maybe even gonna try to race it on a 3-hour endurance race to see how well it does against the bigger and better bikes out there. So till then, stay tuned, and we'll see you next. And please subscribe, hit that like button, and thank you so much.